Hello, Pucatraders. My name is Wilson, and we are doing a Magic Origins draft. Here, there's a bunch of really cool cards in this pack, actually. There's a Thopter Spy Network, or a Better Blossom. There's also an Unholy Hunger, a Possessed Scab, Weight of the Underworld, some Abs of Steel. We're going to take the Thopter Spy Network. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I can see a deck being drafted around this, maybe like a red-blue artifact deck. But I mean, if you can get this down and even draw a card right as you play it, when you hit with an artifact creature, you just get value right away, and then it just keeps producing value. So it's better for these longer games where you want to just keep generating value. Where maybe a Possessed Scab would be good in that sort of deck. So we're going to take the Opter Spy Network and see where that leads us. It might not be down a blue route, but it's down a route that I haven't gone down yet. So we'll do that. All right, in this pack there are a couple cards that I'm looking at. There's Shaman of the Pack, which early enough, if you get one of these, you can start building the Elf deck. There's Ringwarden Owl. There's a Stalwart Aven, and Deadbridge Shaman is kind of bringing up the rear. Really, I think it's between these three cards. And I'm kind of looking at the Stalwart Aven just because, for one, it's cheaper. Two, it is going into a different color, but I think that this is something that we want to do. The Owl is good, and it's a good, Thopter Spy Network into Owl, but I'm going to go with Stalwart Aven. And maybe we can make like a blue-white Flyers deck, and just kind of go with that. There's another Elf Shaman. I think that ship is kind of sailed because we're going to take this Claustrophobia here. There's a Bogart Brute and a Fire Fiend Elemental, which is good in red, but not a whole lot else in this pack. Bloodlust and Archers and Centaurs and Maritime Guards are not exactly what we're looking for. We're looking at this Claustrophobia and snapping it up. So here, there's a Jiraga's Invocation, which is very, very good. And it's kind of a signal getting it 4th pick. There's also a Hitchclaw Recluse, Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. The white here I'm not super thrilled with. Warhorn plus Thopter Spy Network. That's a thing. I'm going to take this Jiraga's Invocation, see where this leads us. Right now, it's a little bit better than Stalwart Aven, so maybe we can go into green. But green is not known for its machines. It's known for its creatures, for the fat. So I don't know. We'll see. And continuing with our blue-white Flyers deck, there's Thunderclap Wyvern, which is very, very good. Ringwarden Owl is okay. Maybe the Stratus Walk will wheel with the Thunderclap Wyvern being taken here. Then we can just throw anything up into the air. It gets +1/+1, and it can only block other Flyers, but that's cool. This Jiraga's Invocation will move to the sideboard for now, and move that over so we can actually see it. But we'll take this, and this is definitely a route that we can go down. I'm liking that. I'm also liking Amperin Tactician. He's fine. He's a fine guy. Send to Sleep is not really a card I want to be playing in this deck. Amperin Tactician, with a bunch of Thopters, can definitely get there. Now here's an interesting choice between Vryn Wingmare and Goldforge Sentinel. The Wingmare, it's a 2/1, and then we can play the Thunderclap Wyvern right after it, make it a 3/2 flyer, which is pretty darn good. It also kind of messes up any sort of like, non-creature spells that our opponent might cast. Things like Lightning Javelin on 4 is really important, and sometimes this guy just goes, no, you're going to have to play that on 5, or your Unholy Hungers, yeah, you're going to have to play those on 6. I'm going to take the Vryn's Wingmare. It's also a rare, which is, cool. And Goldforge Sentinel, if it's between two cards that are, I think incomparable power level, I'm going to take the one that's lower on the curve level. So here's an Orchard Spirit, another thing that makes me think that maybe green is open, but I don't know, possibly not. I'm going to take this Veteran Sidearm. It's better than Negate. It helps out with our Thopter Spy Network. We can get the Veteran Sidearm down on 2. play like Stalwart Aven, and then play Thopter Spy Network, and then have the equipment or have the artifact to start generating Thopters. Plus, it's good to just throw onto like a flyer, so we're gonna take that. It's an Alchemist Vial and a Deep Sea Terror. I'm gonna take the Alchemist Vial again. It's another artifact. It can start producing Thopters for us pretty quickly, so we're gonna take that. Valor of Akros plus Thopter Spy Network. So every turn we get a Thopter and all of our guys get +1/+1. That's pretty good for an enchantment that does nothing. I'm going to take this Aven Battle Priest. It's a 4/4 with the Thunderclap Wyvern. So, 4/4 for 6 that gains you 3 is kind of where we want to be. I'm going to take this Aerial Volley and just get rid of that. Just get it out of the draft. We don't want to play against that. So here, there's a Helm of the Gods, which is not quite good. We have 2 enchantments. I'm going to take this Hitchclaw Recluse and just cack that out of the draft. It can block a lot of our things, and, I'd rather just not play against it. Between Elemental Bond and Healing Hands, I think Elemental Bond is slightly better, so we'll take that. And a Mantle of Webs, which would just wreck us, so we'll take that. And, not have to play against Mantle of Webs. Whew! Alright, we opened up a blue rare, Jace's Sanctum. Pretty sweet. But we're going to go with this Knightly Valor because it's insane. It's actually insane. It's like crazy, crazy good. We're going to take this one and be pretty darn happy with that. Other things of note in this pack, there's a Ringward Owl, a Topen Freeblade, a Celestial Flare, which is, But it's really like these two, we're kind of bummed on, especially the Freeblade, missing out on a really solid 2-drop. But Knightly Valor is just so good, especially with flyers. My gosh. Now here, there's a Thopter Spy Network and the Chief of the Foundry, which is very, very good. There's also a Consul's Lieutenant, which is also very good, and a Stalwart Aven, which if these two weren't in the pack, we would snap up Stalwart Aven. But now we have a choice between these two. And the Council's Lieutenant being so hard to cast, having double white and double blue and double white and white blue in our deck, makes me want to take the Chief of the Foundry. It is a 2-drop, and it could pump up the Thopters if it becomes Renowned. This actually just pumps up the Thopters. This is tough. I think it's really a toss-up between these two. And you know what? I'm going to take the Chief of the Foundry. It's easier to cast. And, there's just so much more upside. Well, there's Alhammeret. High Arbiter. This guy, what does this guy do? He's flying. He's a 5/5. There's a battlefield. Each opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a name of a non-land card revealed this way. Opponents can't cast spells with a chosen name. Okay, so you just name like the removal spell and it can't do anything. So Alhammeret, Claustrophobia, Topen Freeblade. While I was just saying how I wanted to take, things that lowered my curve, I kind of want to take Alhammeret. I've never played him before, and this does seem like a deck that will get us to 7. There's also the Claustrophobia, which is very, very good. This is tough, because I know that these two won't wheel. There's also an Enshrouding Mist, which is very good. I'm going to take the Alhammeret. I've never played with it before, and it seems really big. Now we can take another Chief of the Foundry. That makes this Thopter Spy Network very, very good. Just go Chief into Thopter Spy Network. Game. Also with Throwing Knives, Screeching Scab, Stalwart Aven, Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. We'll take this Chief of the Foundry, though. It's very, very good. And now it's between Charging Griffin and Enshrouding Mist. And I think that other Enshrouding Mist is going to wheel, so I'm going to take this Charging Griffin for right now. Just a 3/3 flyer for 4 when it's attacking, and maybe even could be a 4/4 and a 3/3 on defense. Seems good to me. There's a Artificer's Epiphany. There's a Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, and then Deep Sea Terror Yoke Docks. It's definitely between the 2 3-drops. Just which one do we want more? That Stratus Walk never came back. It's interesting. I think it's actually Artificer's Epiphany. just so we can start drawing into some of our bigger stuff. And since we do have two drop artifacts, like this makes it even better. And the Chief of the Foundry plus the Thought Spy Network. Yeah, I'm gonna take. No, no, I'm gonna take the creature. The Epiphany will wheel. I'm making a call here. So here's a Fairy Miscreant. This is one of the reasons why I like this deck, is because Fairy Miscreants, you can start picking those up, and they're 2/2s for 1. You know, which like you kind of have to build your own 2/2 for 1, but you know, we do have a lot of things that go with it, and plus if we pick up a couple more, you know, they might not be that bad. Might not be that bad. We can take a Maritime Guard here. I think it's better than our second Aven Battle Priest, and Stoic Rebuttal is not an actual card I want to be playing, so we'll take the Maritime Guard. Hoo-hoo, lucky us, our rare wheeled, but we still don't want it. There's Negate. I guess we'll just take a Negate for the sideboard. We're not super thrilled with it. We'll also take a Yoke Dox for the sideboard. And this Nivix Barrier, again, for the sideboard. Crone Jailer. Zendikar's Royal is very good. I don't know why that's still there. It's a very good card. Green does seem mediocrely-ish open, if those are words. Mediocrely-ish. Yeah, I kind of like where we are right now. We got some cool things to do later. God, this Mantle of Loves will so kill us, but we'll take this Nivix Barrier. It actually won't kill us. We don't really care about that card. Another Yoke Dox for the sideboard. So lucky. So lucky. I was going through my head of what would we want to open here? What would be the best card to open? And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, obviously Jace would be really good. You know, some other cards I'm like, you know what? Tragic Arrogance. And I wish I had gotten it on in recording, but Tragic Arrogance would be really cool. And oh, bam, Tragic Arrogance. Yeah, get there. This card is ridiculous. For each player, you choose an artifact, a creature, enchantment, and a planeswalker, and then they sacrifice the rest of them. So you get to pick your biggest creature, your biggest enchantment, biggest artifact, biggest planeswalker, and then you choose all of your opponent's weakest of those things, and then sacrifice the rest. So pretty cool. It's kind of like a Dune Blast, sort of, but you know, not really at all like a Dune Blast. We'll take this card and be quite happy with it. All right, so some decisions here. There's a Foundry of the Councils, which is quite good. There's a Ringward Owl. There's also a Sphinx's Tutelage. So I think it's between one of these three cards. I don't think that this is a tutelage deck. So it's between Ringward Owl and the Foundry of the Councils. And I'm going to take the Foundry of the Councils. Whoop, I didn't mean to double click on it. But yeah, we're going to take Foundry of the Councils. It's so good with Thunderclap Wyvern, and especially our second Thunderclap Wyvern. Oh my gosh, another Chief of the Foundry? Wait a second. Yeah, we'll take the Thunderclap Wyvern. It's just so good with all the rest of the cards in our deck, and all of our artifact creatures, you know, just kind of sort of already do fly. I guess this pumps up other Chief of the Foundries. But I think 3 of them is a little too much, and getting a second Thunderclap Wyvern. Wait a second. Can we wheel the Thunderclap Wyvern? If we take the Chief of the Foundry, will the Thunderclap Wyvern wheel? It's kind of bad news if it doesn't wheel, but I don't think Chief of the Foundry will wheel. Totem Guide, Heartbeast, Grasp, and Water Force are all very good too. No, I think it's just too crucial to our deck, and it's such a good card. We're going to take it. Wow. Scryfish? Yeah, in. Patrick Scryfish. Starfish is actually the incorrect nomenclature. These are mollusks. They're not fishes. So you thought you were coming to get a Magic video, but really you just learned something. So suck on that. Well, suck on this. This pack is pretty terrible for us. There's a Rock Smaller for somebody. We'll take this Heavy Infantry. I don't know. Maybe we'll take this Maritime Guard. Yeah, we'll take this Maritime Guard, but we're going to put it in our sideboard for right now. The Scrapskin Drake. That's very good with 2 Thunderclap Wyverns. Yeah, we'll definitely take this. There's also another Veteran Sidearm, which maybe we can wheel that, but we'll take the Scrapskin Drake. Be pretty happy with it. And a Stalwart Aven? Yes, please. Yes, please. With all of our Thunderclap Wyverns. Wow. Aspiring Aeronauts is insane when Thunderclap Wyvern. It generates 4 power and 5 toughness. Think if we had like Chief into Thunderclap into this. My god. The value. Just the value. That's a very late Wild Instincts. It's very, very late. We can take this Auramancer. We can get back Claustrophobia and nothing. Take this Wild Instincts out of the draft then. I kind of want to find something to replace this Fairy Miscreant. Granted, it is a 3/3 for 1. It's just like a flying Wild Nicotl. It's like a already flipped Delver of Secrets. Pretty good, but I don't want to just play one of them. That seems really bad. I'll hammer it. Can easily become a 7/7. Okay, so I don't think that we want a second Alchemist Vial, but I'd really be happy replacing this Fairy Miscreant with a Guardian Automaton, especially going Chief into Automaton. That seems great. There's a Guardian of Meletis, which, I mean, bam, it's a 1/7, getting there. Plus, also, it's just a fine card. Ring Warden Owl, wow, that came super late. Wow, Thunderclap Wyvern into Ring Warden Owl, game. And we also get rid of this Hitchclaw Recluse. Wow, we're actually doing it now. We also have to now cut a card. Probably, I don't know. That's for future us to figure out. And we can gather the pack. And a mountain. Alright, sweet. So this is what I was thinking. We can take out the Maritime Guard. And put those back in if, you know, we're playing against something real nasty. But I took out the Maritime Guard, put in 17 lands. I kind of like this green this green sideboard plan. We're not going to do that, but yeah, I mean, this deck looks pretty cool. We're missing like a Suppression Bonds, maybe like a second Claustrophobia, but I like it. I think we can do great things with this. So I'll see you all for round 1.